Hey guys, what is up? It's Duncan, and today I'm here with a video on the next generation Nintendo DS. We'll just be calling it the DS2, although I'm sure they'll have a better name for it than that. Of course, the DS came out quite a few years ago, and although they've refreshed it with a ton, they've refreshed it with the DS Lite, the DSi, and now the DSi XL, it's still, all of them are fundamentally the same sort of system. They all have the same specs, play the same games. But what a lot of the rumors are now saying that we might be having one as soon as the end of this year. So I'm going to go ahead and go over everything we know and everything we expect out of the DS2. Anyway, let's get this one started. Okay guys, so the first thing we've obviously got to go at is the touchscreens. And yes, I think there's going to be two touchscreens as opposed to the single one on the original DS. Now of course when the original DS came out, it was a really big deal. Okay, you went from a Game Boy Advance with just a single, obviously non-touch screen, to all of a sudden you have two screens, one of which was a touchscreen. That was a really cool thing where you had the stylus and you could do all kinds of stuff. As well as it had the microphone as well. So it brought a lot of really cool things, and obviously the DS has been tremendously successful. So I expect that they will bring over a lot of the features. I think that they will still have two screens. I'm not sure if one or both will be touchscreens. At least the bottom one will definitely stay as a touchscreen. I wouldn't be surprised if the top one is also a touchscreen. I think the screens will get larger. I think instead of the 4:3 ratio, they're going to be more like widescreen. I'm not really sure how big they're going to be. Probably about the same size, maybe just a little bit larger than the standard DS, or rather the standard DSi. One really cool thing I expect though is that the next DS is going to have much better graphics. We've heard a lot about the NVIDIA Tegra chip, which seems like it's going to be going into everything from netbooks to cell phones to game systems and everything. And it sounds like it's also going to be going into the next DS too. So the NVIDIA Tegra chip actually has a lot of power, and it can actually run high-definition video and some pretty graphically intense games. So I think it'd be a perfect fit for the next DS. Some other things are that I expect that the DS is going to stay mostly the same. I believe it's going to keep the same folding design, two screens, although of course they will probably be a little bit larger, probably two speakers still, a microphone, and of course at least one, maybe two touchscreens. What I actually think they might get rid of though is the stylus. Once they change, because right now the DS has a resistive touchscreen, which is the kind of squishy one that has been around for a long time. Well, now I think they're going to change from resistive to capacitive. Capacitive is a little bit different. It's kind of like on an iPhone or a lot of modern cell phones, and it's actually a solid. It's you touch it, it doesn't. It feels like you're basically touching a solid piece of glass, and it works with your finger. I think working with your finger, I think that'll be really cool for the DS. I know a lot of the games use the stylus and everything, but I think it's going to add a whole new level of interactiveness when you actually have your finger and you can draw stuff. I think it'll make it a little bit more fun. Another thing is that we believe it's going to have an accelerometer, just like again from the iPhone and iPod Touch. So you can actually take your DS and tilt it as you play, as well as touching the touchscreen, and they can do a lot of really creative things with it. So that's most of the things I know of. There's a few other things, such as maybe like actually going more towards digital downloads, like the PSP Go and somewhat the DSi. I wouldn't doubt that they have at least expand the DSi, the online store, where you can actually download a lot of games, kind of similar to iPhone apps, for quite a bit cheaper than a normal game, maybe like $5, $10, and actually be able to play it. But more of kind of like a short game, not like a full long, really long game that you would buy actually at the store. I don't think they're going to be getting rid of the cartridge format. They might change it up. I wouldn't be surprised if the cartridges get smaller, maybe, or they change up a little bit. But I think that it's still going to be mostly the same. I wouldn't be surprised if it has DS. If you can go ahead and plug in your old DS cards into the DS2. So yeah, guys, that is my roundup of just about everything we've heard. It sounds like a lot of game developers are, they're kind of being quiet about it, but they're pretty much saying that they're already working on games for it, and the games will probably be ready towards the end of the year. So, if that's the case, and of course it does sound like it is, then we're probably looking for a sort of like a fall, winter release date, probably just in time for the holiday season. But we also will probably have an unveiling, and Nintendo will show it off for us sometime maybe in the summer, maybe during June at the E3 conference. Who knows? So of course, guys, these are rumors. We don't have anything concrete yet, but it sounds like the next DS is actually well on its way, and it could be here, within just a few short months. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching.